So make sure you have your selection tool active. Go ahead and click and drag around all of these frames here in the right-hand column and go ahead and delete them. Just press the delete key. And now we're going to explore a different aspect of working with multiple objects, specifically aligning and distributing objects. So I'm going to grab the rectangle frame tool. I'll draw out a little shape, maybe make it a square. I'll hold Shift to constrain proportions. And now with the selection tool active, I'm just going to create a couple of random copies. Holding the Option key, this will duplicate some of these. I'm putting these in no particular place, in no particular order. You can create as many as you want. Maybe 4 or 5 would be a good number. I have 6 here. I think that'll work out just nicely. And I have them all set out on my page here. It would be nice if everything came in mathematically aligned and perfect, but most times in a design process, you throw things on the page, you have some ideas, and then you need to tidy things up. So with that in mind, I'm going to select all of the frames that I've made here on the right-hand side, go to the Window menu, choose Object and Layout, and choose Align. Now notice up here at the right-hand side of my control panel that I do have some align options available to me. However, the options available will depend on the width of your monitor. So if you have a really huge monitor, you'll actually have more options available than I have here. If you have a smaller monitor, you might not be seeing the same options. So for this step, I'm going to rely on the Align panel, and we can all look at it together. So the first thing we could look at is here at the top under Align Objects. These visual icons should be pretty self-explanatory. The tooltips that you see when you hover over them really help. So I'm going to take all of these selected objects and align their left edges. Now let's go in here and click on a couple of individual objects. Just click off on the pasteboard to make sure no objects are selected, and change the width of a couple of these objects to make them variable widths. Now select all of the frames, and this time align their centers. And now you can see all of them lined up nice and tidy. We can also do similar things with the tops, the vertical centers, and the bottoms. In this case, it would just collapse them down into a big old pile like this. Not exactly what we want, so I'll just undo that last step. Now, we also have the ability to distribute objects. So I can take all of these objects and distribute them evenly. For example, I'll distribute their vertical centers so there's even space between each frame. Just a single click. Everything spreads out evenly. So if you have a nice structured layout, maybe a photo album or something, you can tidy things up that way. Now, another option here at the bottom is distribute spacing. So for example, if I want exactly 1/10 of an inch in between every single object, I'll distribute the spacing. A single click, and everything gets cozied up with 1/10 of an inch between each object. Now the last thing to understand about alignment inside of InDesign is a new feature that's been added in InDesign CS3, and that is the ability to control what the objects are aligned to. So far, everything in this example has been set to align to selection. So basically these objects are just orienting to themselves. However, if I select these objects and I want to say align them to the page, and I will choose to align to the vertical centers, this group of objects will all align to the center of the page. Again, I can undo that last step. Another option would be maybe we want to align it to the spread or the margins. So the objects don't have to align to each other. They can align to other attributes of the page.